Hello, I am back with another riveting math video. This week in the students' homework, you will notice a lot of word problems. This past week, we started applying what we knew about subtracting 7, 8, and 9 from teen numbers to word problems. We introduced a specific strategy to the kids that I want to share with you. The name of the strategy is RDW. It does appear on the homework in the word problems. This is the second page. So you could see the RDW strategy. R standing for read the word problem. I've also added and figure out what they want. Some of these word problems are looking for a change that has happened, and that's sometimes difficult for the kids to understand, that they're looking for what change occurred rather than looking for a total. The D is the second step of the RDW strategy. D stands for draw and label. The W stands for write. We want the students to be writing a number sentence, and we also want them to be writing a statement with the answer. What I have done in the homework, this is the homework packet that is going home in English. I uploaded a Spanish version on Living Tree. The version that has gone home has examples of what the RDW strategy would look like once the students are done solving a word problem using that strategy. What I'm going to do is take a moment to kind of walk you through it. This way you can hear some of the vocabulary that we're using at school, and then when the students bring home their homework, you're going to notice what we're looking for. The first word problem reads that Michael and Anastasia pick 14 flowers for their mom. Michael picks 6 flowers. How many flowers does Anastasia pick? So this is not a change unknown problem. As you can hear, we're starting with a total. They've given us a part, and the students are tasked with finding the other part. For the RDW strategy, you would read the word problem to your child. If the student is able to read the problem independently, they can go ahead and do so, but math is not an indication of their reading abilities. We do read the word problems to the students at school. If you would like to, please go ahead and do that. And then after I'm done reading it, I will generally ask them to stop and think for what the word problem wants them to figure out. So in the example of Michael and Anastasia, I would expect the students to say that they need to find out how many flowers Anastasia picked. So moving on to the second part, which is our D, they're going to create an organized math drawing and label it. So that would again look like our 5 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to create a group of 10, and then 4 more to the side. So these represent the flowers that both Michael and Anastasia picked. I would encourage the students to write 14 just so that they can see 14 appears in the word problem. It appears here as the total. Then it says Michael picks 6 flowers. What we've encouraged the students to do is to put a circle around that 6, an M for Michael. Because they're not actually taking the flowers away and putting them somewhere else, I encourage them to circle it. Sometimes crossing out means that the flowers are completely gone. So I do encourage a circle, an M for Michael, and then the A I would put here, and some of the students like to hook it around, Some of the students like to hook it around here to show that the A is both here and here. Sometimes students do forget that there are circles over here. They might say that Anastasia picked 4, but we have to remind them that these are also flowers that were picked. So the students would then see that there are 4 here and 4 here, meaning that Anastasia picked 8. So now they need a number sentence. They can do 14 minus the 6 that Michael picked is the same as 8, meaning that Anastasia picked 8. I also encourage them to put a box around to show that they understand that this is what we were looking for. Some students are more comfortable with addition, so they may create a sentence that looks like this. 8 plus 6 is the same as 14. Both are completely acceptable as long as we notice that they have shown the answer. Now comes the statement. This is a new step in first grade. Again, math is not a time to worry about reading and writing skills. The students are being encouraged to write, but if their words are not spelled exactly correctly, that's not something that we're focusing on during math. That would be a focus in word study or writer's workshop. So right now the statement would be Anastasia picked 8 flowers. I've encouraged the children to go back into the word problem to have me reread the question to them. The question was, how many flowers does Anastasia pick? The statement is, Anastasia picked 8 flowers. This would be considered a complete answer using the RDW strategy. You'll notice that there are many word problems in this week's homework. Again, reading it to them, having them use the RDW process. Some of the students also find it a little bit tricky when the total is not the first part of the word problem. An example appears on this lesson 23 homework. In this one, it says that Micah collected 9 pine cones on Friday and some more on Saturday. Micah collected a total of 14 pine cones. How many pine cones did he collect on Saturday? So the difference here is that the total comes in the second part of the word problem. This can sometimes be confusing to students because at the beginning they were being told the total first and then finding parts, and right now they're given one part. There was a change that they don't know, and then they're getting the total. So the first thing that I do after I have them identify what the problem is asking, this particular problem is asking how many pine cones were collected on Saturday. I then ask them, so what is the total? How many did Micah have all together? And they start by drawing that. So in this one, they would say, well, he collected 14 pine cones all together. They would draw their 14 circles in 10 and 4, and then they would circle the 9 to show that that happened on Friday, and the rest would be the ones that happened on Saturday. Some students feel more comfortable with addition, so they will actually start by drawing out the 9 and then adding up until they get to 14. That is a perfectly great strategy. To do that, they would start with the 9 that he collected Friday, 3, 4, 5, always using those 5 groups to create a 10. So this would be their 9. They would label the 9 with an F, and then they would continue to add until they got to the number 14. So here would be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, labeling it with an S. I would also encourage them to circle that last one because it did not happen on Friday. The pine cone was collected on Saturday. So Friday and Saturday, they would create a number sentence. 9 plus 5 is the same as 14, and they would again put the box around 5. If they chose to start with 14 and then to circle 5, they would then draw the 14, circle the 9 that were already collected, and then do a subtraction sentence. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Have a wonderful winter break. We will see the students again on January 2nd. Homework will begin again on January 8th. The students need some time to kind of reacclimate to school, and then we'll be sending home another packet. Thank you.